Okay, so I hope you guys are having a good night and wonderful night today. So I'm Matt and this is Daniel. And if you have seen our previous live stream, we are talking about hobbies like week by week so that you guys can find or maybe like experience new hobbies. Like we are just sharing our experiences with this hobby and then maybe like sharing our opinions about these hobbies. So last week we talked about Muay Thai, which is Daniel's favorite activities. So if you haven't watched that clip, you should go watch that live clip from last week. But compared to Daniel's topic last week, I think that you guys might want to sleep after hearing about my topics. So like as you can see from our live stream name, it's getting lost in another world. So you might be thinking like, it's like playing games or playing fantasy or watching maybe like The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
No, we are talking about a really dry topic tonight. But bear with us for a moment because it's gonna get interesting.
It's gonna get interesting. Please tune in.
Yeah. So tonight we are talking about a hobby of mine. So like I really enjoy this hobby and like it gives me pure peace and serenity and like it helps me to control my emotion. So can you guys guess what the hobby is?
Well, it's in the thumbnail. It's reading and books. And today I'll be interviewing Met. And I'm very sure that everyone has experience with reading, and we are no strangers to that as well. But I am very sure that Met is no stranger to reading and with books as well. So Met is more familiar with me, more familiar than me when it comes to books and reading. So Met, can you please tell me how you got into reading?
So I need to go back maybe like a lot back into my childhood. So like I think like I grew up with books instead of twice, like yeah. So the thing is, my parents like whenever I ask them to, like I like request them to buy me like twice like Lego and stuff,
Yeah.
like they say like no, we should do some productive things. Like and they bought me books instead of twice. So like I think like I first got into reading where like weekly cartoon papers. So like there's a tradition in our country. It's like Shui Tui and Putet,
yes.
and a lot of things like so these cartoon papers they have like some are like weekly and some are like monthly. And they're even like cartoon magazine. So like my family like they subscribe to this cartoon newspaper, like how should I say comic paper and like comic magazine, like everything. So like it's like like every week like maybe like maybe on Tuesday I will be like hoping for put that or like
Definitely, because food comes every Tuesday.
Yeah. And then like on Friday I maybe like waiting for Tuesday.
Yeah.
So like I think like my passion for reading started with those comics because like even if you guys think like comics are like for child like for children, like we can still enjoy that even if
everyone can still enjoy, right? Yeah, at any age.
Yeah. So like that's when I got into reading. But I think we can't really say it's reading, right? Because it's just comics, right? Yeah. But the thing is, like it became more like how does it like the condition became more like affectionate and like it became more better. It became better because like when I'm like 6 or 7 years ago, 6 years old, like my parents like brought me to a very very big bookshop in Myanmar. Like I think it's called the book center or something. Yeah, it's in like our like a major shopping mall in our country. So like in that bookstore, like they sell toys and stuff too, right? So as a child, like I wanted to get those toys, right? Because I want to play, right?
Yeah.
So like my parents are no, we can't spend any money on toy. And then like they brought me into a like maybe like I think like a science section, and like they made me pick like what box do you want. So like like it's funny because like uh my first ever book that I read, like besides the comics and stuff, it's like I think it's about like dinosaurs and maybe like black holes and a lot of science stuff. Yeah. So I think that's when I got into reading. But like yeah, to be honest, like these are all like in my local languages, not in English. I think I got into reading English books as like maybe like around like 2019 or 2020 when I was in high school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that your parents had a different thought. Like so because they didn't bought you toys, they had something in mind. So they want you to experience something else different from other kids because I grew up with mostly toys. My parents bought me mostly toys, but they also bought me a good amount of books. But at the same time, they didn't bought books. Okay, usually they only bought it occasionally.
So like in my case, like I've got like maybe like at my home, I've got like maybe 2 or 3 books, full of books. Yeah. Like so like because like when I was in like maybe like middle school, like not until like before high school, like whenever before I sleep, like I wasn't like playing with other kids or something. I would like take 5 or 6 books and leave those at my bedside and then like read them until I fall asleep.
That is one way. That's
Yeah.
one good way of falling asleep, though.
Yeah. But like the thing is, like I couldn't fall asleep because like I want answers from those books. I want to know more about those books. And like for me, like I think like I'm more like a non-fiction reader because like I grew up with those non-fiction. Like my parents won't let me read those romantic novels or like fiction stuff.
Some of my parents my parents don't let me read like sensitive stuff when I was younger, because at that age you absorb a lot of information, and sometimes you get sometimes you go from one path to another. So my parents they wanted me to read sensitive books. Like really some of them are really nasty stuff when I'm over 18, because that's when I know how to make my judgments. So
I see.
Moving on, for now, do you have any books that you're reading? Would you like to give our viewers a recommendation?
Like my current read right now? So I think I haven't really read a lot of books since this year, like because I was super busy with like my university stuff and other occasions. But I think I'm currently reading a book called Too Big to Fail. So it's a book about like 2008 financial crisis and its consequences and how it built that. So like it's pretty technical book because like I'm a finance major, so I need to learn those things. So like I'm currently reading that. I won't recommend it to like people who wants to get into reading, because like even for our as finance student, it's pretty difficult to grasp the concepts and it's pretty heavy. Yeah.
So do you have any books that really resonated with you, like really stuck with you for like your years? Like well, mine was a book about sharks when I read since I was 5th grade. Yeah, that was one book that really had a special place in my heart. Do you have any books related to that?
Yeah, so like I think I could say that like I only read like fiction stuff when I was in middle school. So like I read those stuff like without knowing my parents. So I read them at the school. So like there's a very popular, like how should I say it, like a very popular like horror, or no, not really horror, but it's not very scary, but like it's very fun to read. So you know Daddy, right?
Yeah.
So like I grew up with those Daddy books when I was in like middle school and high school. So those are like my first ever fiction books, and like I couldn't go to sleep after reading those books. So yeah.
Wait, horror books, right? Like
Yeah.
sort of horror mystery. Does that
Yeah,
mystery
yeah,
hit?
it's like any mystery and horror, right? And it's very, like it's very, like funny, fun,
Uh-huh.
and like enjoyable. Like I could read that like all day, right?
So I'm also familiar with some horror books, and one book that I once had a book about ghost. So it's like multiple ghost stories in one book. So and I had the same experience as you, where when I read it, I feel like something's watching me.
Yeah.
It's really
Like
creepy.
we can't really like we like like we don't really want to go to toilet at night after reading those books, right?
Definitely, because
Yeah.
Sometimes when the book is too good, you often get absorbed into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes when I get a good book, I sometimes like eat very little dinner and I just want to keep on reading my book.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like I said, when you get too absorbed in your book, sometimes you feel really into it, and in the case of horror books, it feels like it feels like you're terrified.
Yeah, that's right. But like, at the same time, it's very good, right? It's a very good
It's very
feeling,
good
right?
content, because the book is really enjoyable.
Yeah, and like that's the thing with horror books. Like everyone says, like like that's not just horror books, but like with every like general book. So like everyone said like they sell like most people, especially like like self-help gurus or like relatively powerhouses. They always say like just read fiction, don't read romance books, don't read like
Uh-huh.
like horror books. Those are pointless. I mean, like we enjoy our hobby. Like reading should be one of their hobby, right?
Yes.
Like okay, I can understand. Like we need to read some required reading for our university, for our work, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but those are separate things. Like if we want to read out in our like free time, we should just enjoy whatever we want. Instead of like pushing us to like watch like maybe like what's the number one book of all time, or maybe like the top 100 books of all time, and we shouldn't just like read those books. I mean, like yeah, we should read them. Like if we want to, only if we want to.
Yeah,
We shouldn't just force us to like read those books because like, everyone is saying it's good, right? Yeah, and like I think like horror has a like very special place for most people, because like the thing with horror books, the difference between the horror books and like horror movie is that like in horror movies you see everything in the screen, right?
Yeah.
And then like the jump scare things are very scary, right? And it stuck with you for a long time. But for the horror books, like it's very perfect, in cozy days or like in rainy days, like where like you don't want to go out, and then like you want something chilling, and then like maybe like you want to let out everything inside you, right? Yeah. Sometimes like when you are very stressed, you need those kinds of horror books. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Yeah, like we should read whatever is enjoyable to us. Instead of like just picking like or like asking ChatGPT or Gemini about like okay, what books should I read? Like what books like should be read before we die or before like our like life die. No, like we should just read whatever resonate with us, like whatever click with us. Yeah.
So given that many people have many people get absorbed into their books, and many people have different opinions about different books, do you have any tips, or do you have any techniques that help enhance our viewers' experience when they read a book? What are some tips or the things you do in order to get into a setting where a book is very enjoyable and you can read it like the entire day, or finish the entirety of it?
Yeah. So my tip is like we should buy books because like to support the writers, right? But as I know, like most of you watching this are in Thailand, right? And then like most of us are in Bangkok, right? So there are a lot of public libraries, and then like if we are a university student or if we're a high school student, there are a lot of like university libraries or like high school library, right? So my tip with books is that that we should first, how do I say? First, like try first without like before we buy it. Like as like I think we have already mentioned that there's a concept in economics called sunk fallacy, right? It's like you keep on doing things because like you have already invested a lot in something, right? So to avoid that sunk fallacy, if we want to read about, we should maybe like just read some review or like maybe like just like watch the review video on YouTube or something. But that's not enough because like from my personal experience, I have like how should I say, like I have found some books that like the reviewers are pretty hyped at, and then like when I read that, like the writer's guys, it's not for me at all. Yeah. So if we have time and energy before we read a book, we should like just go and like check it at like public library or university library and maybe like read 2 or 3 pages. Like if it's perfect for you, just borrow it because like we need to save a lot, right? But if it's truly enjoyable to you, then you should buy it to support the writer. So like I always borrow from my Thammasat University library. Yeah. I got like I think at this point like I got like 9 or 10 books at home. I borrowed them to read. So and then another way that we can check if a book is for us or not is that to go to like at ebook platform, something like Amazon or Apple Books or like Barnes and Noble or a lot of things, or maybe like Chula Books or Kikokonia. Like sometimes like they got like the summary of the books, and sometimes like they got like some preview of the book, so that like you can experience the real like writing of the book. I think we should first like try before like reading, like before going into the full book. And then like another tip I want to say is that we shouldn't just continue reading just because like we have started it. If it's not enjoyable for you, just drop it. It's okay. Don't continue reading if it's not enjoyable to you, because like the point of reading is that to enjoy it, to savor it, like not pushing yourself like it's a homework. Because like hobbies, they are meant for us to escape from the boredom of
like it's hobby after all, like,
daily life. Yeah, it's a hobby. Yeah,
it's getting lost in another world.
Yeah, just getting lost in another world, right? So if it's something that you don't really enjoy, then yeah, go ahead, don't read it. Yeah, that's my advice. But if it's something that really like makes you feel like at home, or like make you more like enjoyable, then yeah, you should probably continue read it till the end. That's a like like how should I say, the perfect happiness of reading, like going to the like last page of the book. Yeah, that's the like happiest time for readers. Yeah.
Your tip really resonated with me because you said read see some reviews, see some summary of the books, and maybe like an online preview or whatever sample you can get off the book in order to find out what kind of book you can see if the book really appeals to you. And that I can really relate to, because I once had a book, maybe I once bought a book which was when I was around 9th grade, where I really liked the cover, I really liked the title, and I somewhat like the summary, but I still think, oh, this might be a gem. I'm still gonna give this a read. And little old me did not know that I could see some previews of the book online, or look at some reviews of the book. So the internet is like everything if you really want to find out the knowledge. But at the same time, I bought the book without knowing, and I was reading it, and wow, this is a load of crap. Like, because
it's not very good, right?
It's not very good, because your tip really resonated with me, because I'm gonna speak this again. If you guys want a new book, I really Matt recommends looking at some online previews, some reviews. The internet is yours to search. So so for readers that have like trouble reading, for example, their ambience, their setting is not good, how to say, they struggle to concentrate while reading, or they struggle to like really get absorbed into the book, even though maybe they like it, but they have a hard time getting absorbed into the book. Can you please give a couple of tips?
Okay, so for reading, there's a mistake. People think like they think like they are making a mistake, but in fact they are making a mistake when it comes to reading. So everyone thinks like to read we need to like get in position, like sit at a table and then maybe read, right? Or maybe like go to a library and then read there. So it depends on the person. So sometimes some people like they like to read, but they don't want to go to libraries. Like me, I don't read at library. I just went there and then borrow books. I don't sit and read there because like libraries are too quiet for me. So that's the thing. People think like to read you need to be in a quiet place, right? Actually no, it depends on you, on your preferences. So for me, like I like to read in a like bustling and busy places. So like whenever I want to get lost in a good book, I want to cafe and maybe like downtown like Central War or CM. So I went to a cafe there and then like I put on my headphones or earbuds and then like I just watch the surrounding and then read and get lost in it. Yeah.
That I can really like get into, because I really like that tip, because it also depends from one person to another. We're all not the same. So it depends from one person to another, your preference of where you want to read your book. So do you have any recommendations like throughout your whole life of reading? Do you have any recommendations of books?
The books that I recommend.
Yeah.
So I should start with my favorite book of all time. So it's a Logan novel. So it's a Burmese novel, like a Myanmar novel. So it's from a writer called Nipule. I think the name is like So if we translate it into English, it would be like something like a drop of sweet honey on a sharp knife. So like before coming to business school in my country, I thought about going to medical school because of that book. Yeah, so it's about like it's based on a real story. So it's about a book that it's about a doctor like who went to Naga Mountains. Like there's a state in my country called Chin State, and so he went there, and then like he treated the patients, and he lived with them, he eat with them, and sleep with them. So it's like a very down to earth, and it's a like raw, pure, and fader experiences about his life and his legacy as a doctor. So like the book really like make me want to it makes me want to be a doctor in real life. Like he's a sergeant in that. And like because of that book, I wanted to become a sergeant too. A general sergeant too.
But you're right, the lots of people really they really think hard into their careers after like a really good book, because there's also like there's also I also have like another example where in your case you read a book and you also had a thought of being a surgeon. There is also one person who works on Animal Planet. His name is Jeremy Wade, who he is a fisherman, and he got most of his life when he was a childhood he got influenced by he also got influenced by some books. Those books involve fishing, where one of the books name is The Old Man and the Sea.
Ernest Hemingway.
Yes, yeah. Ernest Hemingway. And Jeremy Wade really got influenced by it, and it also contributes to his life. It really contributes his trajectory into becoming a fisherman on Animal Planet. So for me, a book that I will recommend when basically an author I will recommend when you guys need a book recommendation. I really recommend Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl?
Roald Dahl, from The Big Friendly Giant, Matilda. He wrote he wrote those
Wow.
books, and James and the Giant Peach.
Oh.
I really grew up with those books where I really think his writing is creative, but at the same time, it really has a good amount of grammar where it's not too hard, it's not too easy, it's not really like KG kindergarten book, but it's also not really like
Pretty high about to
like
read,
a
right?
pretty high level book. It's
Very easy to read,
it's
right?
very easy to read, and it's a chapter book, and although it may be long, some people have like a hard time getting like maintaining their attention span through chapter books, right? And I think really and I really think that Roald Dahl maintains our attention span through his writing. This is really creative. That's one author I recommend, Roald Dahl.
Like, so you talk about Ernest Hemingway, right?
Yeah.
So like I haven't really like got into his writing. Like I was reading like The Old Man and the Sea, and I left the book at my home in my gantry. I didn't bring it with me. So but like the writing style is very on point. It's very smooth. That's like 400% like who has only read for like half of it. So like The Old Man and the Sea is a very pretty thin book. If you guys want to like go into like classic literature or like something, you know, like very not very like but easy and accessible to read, you guys should try Ernest Hemingway. He's a master. He wrote a lot of masterpiece. Yeah. And then like another one that I want to recommend to the reader is that like sometimes they might be thinking right now, like what if like I have like required reading from my university, from my high school, so how should I read at that point? So I want to recommend is read books unrelated to your study. Yeah, that's my recommendation. So I'm a finance major, so I have like required reading, like currently I'm reading like a lot of finance textbook, like a lot. But to like to relax myself and like to calm myself down, I read other books. So it's like I read history. I really love reading history, and then like I read novels and stuff like really like different from finance and business stuff. So like if you are like struggling to read because like you are also reading some books, some required reading, doing like some required reading, then you should just go to like some like unrelated topics and find some books that you're interested in. That's my another tip. Yeah.
I would also recommend that to my fellow viewers and readers. Also, shout out to my friends who are reading watching this live. But I really like that you also gave that recommendation because you said finance, right? Since you're having to read some finance books, like books like fantasy, books like history, like you said, really gives an escape.
Yeah.
From finance, because if you were to pick up another finance book, oh my god,
Oh, we were gonna fan out. Yeah.
Oh my god, bro, it's like another finance.
Yeah.
But I really think that like reading unrelated books from your like your main thing is really good, because I think it opens a new perspective. It gives an escape from like the burnout. And I really so I have a book that I'm reading on. So it's it's a sci-fi book where it's called Warhammer: The Last Wall. So it's a book that has a sci-fi genre, but also elements of gore, like really blood and blood and guts.
Like it's like a game, Warhammer.
Yeah, there is a game, but it's like it's like an empire that split. And because one has betrayed the other. And they're trying to gain control. So they're trying to gain control, and war happens, and when war happens, blood and guts. So for like on the topic of blood and guts in books, what is your opinion on it?
I think it will depend on your age. You like I want to recommend like blood and horror and gores
Yeah.
for like viewers who are like only like around 15 or 16. Like I think you can read blood and gores and horror like when you are at least 17 or 18 years old.
Yeah,
I
that
think
makes
you
sense.
should just keep those like bloody genres out of your head, out of your like hand before you're 18 or something. Yeah, that's from my recommendation.
Wait, but that's really true though, because some books have like movies, right? Like Conjuring and whatever, like those.
Yeah.
Some movies have books. So and these books capture. Sometimes we get absorbed and we capture what is in the book, and really we don't really like capture the full essence if we were to watch a movie. I think when we read a book about like like something that a book that has like a movie in it, the book really is precise, I think. So I so like books that like I really think that books are really precise when it comes to describing things. And so maybe sometimes like if we were to read like a book like I said about blood and guts, it'd be more sensitive.
Yeah. Because like you will be imagining things
Yeah.
in your head.
Yeah, because like a movie can change the outcome. Like how to say, if a guy's head gets chopped off in a book, then maybe a guy might get killed off screen in a movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in the books, it all happening.
It's because it's really
in there,
precise.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
the author just has the ability to describe the details, like the very fine details of it.
And then like now that we should talk about it, so we should just get lost in another word because like sometimes like maybe you guys would think as that like we have movies already. Why should we read books, right? Yeah, it's true that like books are very precise, but then like movies like you see everything in your eyes and you hear things, right? But books they need imagination to come up with how these things are happening. So like that's the like a fun point about books. Like if you're reading a novel, I mean, especially like fantasy novels or something, yeah, and you see a scene in that, and if you have already read that, you might want to close your eye and then like think about and imagine it in your head.
Mhm.
And what books, that's why they are very special because like a current like it depends on the person's imagination and it's like on what you and like on upbringing because like sometimes even with the same plot and same writing,
Mhm.
different readers have different imagination and different scenario in their head reading books. That's why like these books are like they have us get lost in another world. Yeah.
That's really like because when you read a book, like some books have meanings that really depends on the reader. And I think that that's what makes books unique because some people might have a different viewpoint of some people might have different viewpoints of that when reading that book. Some might enjoy it, but also have at the same time have criticism
Yeah.
as well. And they might like when they read a certain book, they will have a different interpretation. Not everyone is the same, and that is what I really like about books when it compares to movies. Because when it comes to movies, like if it's a bad movie, everyone knows it's a bad movie. When it comes to book, I think people, I know a few people who will say, "Oh, that's a good book. I don't know why you will hate it."
Yeah. Because we have a lot of different opinions,
Mhm.
right? When it comes to books, and then you might be thinking like, okay, we are talking enough about books, right? So why should we read, right? Yeah. So because like right now, like whatever you see, we got Instagram Reels, we
Mhm.
got YouTube Shorts, and we got TikToks. We scroll and scroll and scroll. That don't scrolling, right? And then like our attention span, like so attention span is something like the ability of us to focus on one thing. So because of this short form content, like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and like TikToks, our brains like they can't really focus anymore, right?
They can.
Yeah, that's why now is a perfect time to get back into reading. So if you read, just say like you want to read for 15 minutes, you need to like concentrate 15 minutes into that. You can't really check your phone.
Uh-huh.
So like now that I'm talking about it, don't read on your devices. Yeah, you should get a physical box.
I really
Yeah.
like enjoy the feel of the physical books because nowadays phones are they emit blue light, which is not really the best
Yeah,
thing that
yeah.
you want in your system. And I really like books because it's like it's not really like nothing digital and
Yeah.
yeah.
But like if you have no choice but to read on your devices, just put on do not disturb DND or some airplane mode
Uh-huh.
because like that way there will be no notification coming when you are getting lost in another world. And then like this reading like it helps me with my academics. Like, so I got a pretty good GPA right now,
Mhm.
and that's because of my books. Because like whenever I got bad out due to studying or like due to like I can't really sleep. Yeah. So like by reading those books, like I became calmer and like more serene, like it became like more like tolerable due to this tolerate for these like academic stress and burnouts. So like whenever I'm facing a burnout, I will pick up a book and then just maybe read of 30 or 40 minutes and like my mind will be calmed down. Yeah.
So that's why I really recommend the viewers. So Matt here he reads books whenever he experiences a burnout. And so Matt, so I'm pretty sure that whenever you get a burnout, you read books. Do you also get good sleep after reading a good book?
Yeah, of course, like reading like it calms your nerves and it calms your brain. So like before you go to bed, if you read, don't read nonfiction because there will be too much information and your brain won't sleep because like your brain want to know more and more. So maybe read some fiction and maybe just even manga or manhwa or cartoons or comics that will help you like rest your brain at night. But if you are reading at night, make sure you use a physical book or maybe like put the night mode on your phone because that way it won't disturb your sleep. Yeah.
So that really wraps up the entire thing about reading and books because as the thumbnail's title says it's getting lost in another world. It really helps with your burnout, like Matt said, and it really gives several benefits for you guys.
So I think like if I were to recommend just one book for you guys to read right now, I think I might recommend which book should I pick? Should I pick something? Okay, so if you guys want to read some romance, if you haven't watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, you guys should go read those trilogy of The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's very nice and it's very easy to read and it's very fun if you're facing a banner. But if you want to get lost in a fantasy war or something, you guys should read the Lord of the Rings trilogy books. Yeah, they are pretty solid. Yeah, those are my
By
recommendations.
J.R. Tolkien, right?
Yeah, J.R. Tolkien, their master. Yeah. So I think we have talked enough about books already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to hear more about books next week, maybe you guys should comment down in the live stream after that. That
And,
way, maybe we can do like that too on books instead of doing another hobby, right?
and looking back at the comments, thank you so much for all your comments, guys, and some of and your comments will also be taken into consideration. Thank you everyone for supporting us, and see you guys next time.
Yeah. So we'll be here like every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Yeah, time. So make sure to catch up on us next week, dude, because we are thinking about another new hobby to bring to you. Yeah. We won't be spoiling anything right now.
Please tell your family and friends, and we are really grateful for you guys tuning in.
Yeah. So see you guys next week. Have a good night. Yeah.
Thank you so much.